as I said, coming from the right and commencing with our friends from the French Air Force, who will be giving a rundown today.
Nigel Meadows on ABC Radio Darwin. He will be commentating as the flyover begins. Francois, did you have something to add before the flying began?
Yes, of course. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
All right. Well, Peter, what do you want to tell us about what we're about to... sorry, Nigel, what can you tell us about what we're about to see?
Well, we're going to see the French Air Force lead the show, and I'll hand over to them to welcome you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the whole French and Space Force deployment involved in Beach Black 2022, I'd like to tell you how glad we are to be here with you today and how proud we feel to open the Mindil Beach Air Show here in Darwin. Australia and France share a common military past that has been standing for more than a century. This is one of the reasons why we came here to participate in this major exercise. 1.6 million, this is the number of French inhabitants in the Indo-Pacific area, one of the many reasons why France can be considered a Pacific nation. To come here at Beach Black 2022, we flew with 3 different kinds of aircraft, and you will be able to see one of them in only few seconds here at Mindil.
From different countries participating in this exercise.
Also
So just
A330
give it a little bit of a wait.
and
By the
finally
way,
the A400M. The airplane you're about to see now back in the present here at Mindil Beach is the CASA, a
super
tactical
crowded.
transport plane. It's able to carry freight and men, but
It's
also
super
to
sunny.
drop paratroopers.
But we're excited.
Yumi Atontuta, the base
back
of
to
this
the
aircraft,
sky.
was the main goal of the first step of the mission, a large and fast deployment to challenge our ability to protect our citizens all across the world in compliance with all international conventions. By doing that, French and Space Force proved France is a reliable and trustworthy military partner, balancing power involved in regional security. So, after flying 18,000 kilometers in only 72 hours, we reached our destination and conducted a complex air-to-ground mission. Only 150 crews were needed to perform that mission, proving the efficiency of our action in the frame of a large deployment. So, ladies and gents, from your right, this is the CASA from French Air and Space Force. I would like you to give it up for the French and Space Force, ladies and gents, here at Mindil Beach Black 2022. So, I think this is it. Thanks for sharing your with me.
That's just fantastic. And have a look at that aircraft doing its 360. There are cameramen on board taking a photo of you guys, so make sure you wave as they do their second orbit. And thank the French Air Force for participating in this exercise.
Nigel Meadows on ABC Radio Darwin. He will be taking charge of the commentary over the next hour. Peter, just describe what is happening for us next so that we can get ready for what's in store.
Yes, look at that beautiful aircraft, fixed wing, gorgeous, multiple engines, we love that. Non-supersonic, by the way. The next one, I believe, will be the Osprey, operated by the US Marine Corps, and we have an Osprey pilot here. I'm going to hand in the microphone. You can introduce yourself, mate.
Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Captain Laboda. I'm with BMM 268, the Marine Medium Tilt Rotor Squadron here with Marine Rotational Forces Darwin. Also very thankful to be able to participate in this flyover, and we've been building a great relationship with the ADF here. So the Boeing V-22 Osprey is an American multi-mission tilt-rotor military aircraft with both vertical takeoff and landing, VTOL, and short takeoff and landing, STOL capabilities. It's designed to combine the functionality of a conventional helicopter with the long-range, high-speed cruise performance of a turboprop aircraft. It's crewed by 2 pilots and at least 1 crew chief. The V-22, it first flew in 1989 and it has been operational with the U.S. Marine Corps since 2007. It's capable of flying twice as high as a conventional helicopter and 3 times as far. It can reach a speed of 500 kilometers an hour at sea level and fly at altitudes up to 7,500 meters. Sorry, I had to convert that. The V-22 is powered by 2 Rolls-Royce AE 1107C engines. Those produce 6,150 shaft horsepower. And just for a few more specs for you, from nose to tail, it's 17.5 meters.
Here
as
it
far as how
comes.
wide it is, it's 25.8 meters from one prop rotor to the other. And if you look just to the right of the beach, you can see it flying over. So right now he's in its high-speed mode coming in, and that's what gives this aircraft such a unique ability. It can come in fast and low, and then insert Marines, cargo, equipment, even ADF personnel, as we've done in exercises around here, into zones as small as 30 square meters. So he's going to come fly right over the beach right now.
I'm excited. As an ex-chopper pilot, I'm really excited. I believe we can hover.
So the maneuver he's about to do, ladies and gentlemen, is called the carrier brake. They'll use this when they're coming to land on ships or coming over a runway. It allows us to come in fast, make a turn, and convert into helicopter mode and land very quickly. Give it up for the V-22.
Whoa.
How would you like to be sitting in the back of that? It's not business class.
Just for a few more specification of this aircraft, it has tremendous lift capabilities, and it can transport 24 troops or loads of up to 6,800 kilograms internally. It can also transport loads externally using basically a cable under the aircraft, and it can transport 4,500 kilograms in that manner. Right now you can see the V-22 flying in that VTOL mode. That's what gives it its helicopter capability. And it's going to come to a complete stop. The landing gear are deploying right now, just as if it was going to come into the zone. As you can hear, the aircraft gets a lot louder when it goes into VTOL mode.
The ability of this aircraft to do what it's doing and also travel fairly fast and carry the loads it carries makes it what we call a force multiplier. Amazing for amphibious operations.
Oh, it's so near.
And right now the Osprey is coming into a hover, and he's going to do a complete 360 pedal turn for you, giving you all a nice wave. And as you can see, the water's being stirred up by the immense prop rotor downwash that this aircraft creates. That just gives you a sense of the brute force of how much air this thing is pushing underneath it. If you look on the left side of the aircraft, you can see one of the crew chiefs is hanging out the window and waving at everybody. Give them a nice wave, ladies and gentlemen. Right now you're looking at the ramp of the aircraft. This is the main entry and egress point for those troops, personnel, and cargo that go on the aircraft.
Everybody smile. And this is why we have the maritime exclusion zone, policed by the Water Police.
With you on ABC Radio, Darwin. If you've just turned on the radio on your drive home and thinking, that's not what I'm used to hearing, that is the sound of the US MC Osprey. The first big just laid down right in front of us on the water's edge down middle of the water. It's kicking up off the ocean, and it is quite the sight to see.
All right, I think one of the last maneuvers that we're going to do, all Osprey pilots are gentlemen and ladies, and what this Osprey is going to do is going to give a nice bow to the crowd as a polite gesture and thanks for you appreciating the show.
Show off. That's pretty incredible. We just got now by the looks of things.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity.
That was impressive. And the last time we did this in 2018, this is one of the most popular bits of the show.
And wasn't that a great show there, Bong? That's just a bit of hovering, some high-speed stuff, and some really polymorphic aerodynamics for you.
Polymorphic. I'll Google that later on. But look at it accelerate. How good is that?
The Marine Corps really like their time here in Darwin, and participating in pitch black is a big activity for them here. But as you know, the US Marine Corps has a fairly big presence here in Darwin, and they really enjoy the welcome that Darwin does provide for them.
Yes, they don't like to leave. For those who come here thinking it's winter and bring too many clothes, and I've met a few today already. There's a couple of French aviators here who brought their heavy-duty clothes. No.
And just to finish off his show, here comes the high-speed pass. I say that loosely as far as my background's concerned, but it's a high-speed pass for a rotary wing aircraft. It's impressive, though, I might admit.
You're suggesting it's not that fast, Nigel?
There's nothing wrong with that speed. Look at it. It's a great aircraft, does a great job, really manoeuvrable. It's not a fast jet, but that's okay. But they're really cool anyway.
Don't start him. I think you already have.
Liz Travasca's with you on ABC Radio Darwin. We're down at Mindil Beach for the flyover. We've just seen a couple of aircraft doing incredible things. Can I just say, seeing the Osprey sort of take a bow from the sky, Peter, like, that alone's pretty cool. Does that take a bit of practice, or that's just kind of standard flying for those guys?
It really is standard flying for anyone who's helicopters, it's fancy stuff. It's like a fly past for fixing. If you can't do that, you probably shouldn't be in the military.
How many Osprey do we have here for the pitch black exercise?
Oh, that might be classified. Trent, help me here.
Trent, how many Osprey do you know have we got here for the exercise?
10 aircraft.
And how do they make their way here? Do they fly over from the station, or are they transported on aircraft carriers? How are the machinery getting here, the aircraft?
They put them on a ship.
Okay, so they don't get to have a nice long sort of trip in the air over, making their way over here to Australia?
Well, it is one of the abilities of the aircraft, as it can do air-to-air refueling, but whatever makes the most logistical sense is how we get it here, and that's how we chose to get them here this time.
And now that those guys have wrapped up their little display, what will they be off to do for this evening?
Button up the aircraft back in the hangar and get ready to do some more training with our ADF partners another day.
I just heard someone in the crowd suggest that they might be going fishing. Is that ever a possibility?
I wish we could.
Over Mach 2.
I have been Mach 2 in my Australian Air Force time. I'm an F-11 pilot. It's a dinosaur, so am I, but that's okay. I've enjoyed my time flying that aircraft, and the same with the time in the Tornado. So the F-11 was great, it was good, did a great job. It's not there anymore. It's replaced by a much more capable aircraft like the F-35 and the Growler and Super Hornet. However, I had a good time in the Air Force flying that, along with my colleague Mika Gray here, who's with us on the air show team. Look, Mach 2 Plus is impressive, and Tiger wears a little badge that says Mach 2 Plus on his arm. I wear a little badge that says hover. That's right, and that's great that you could hover. I've never hovered in my life. I'm not sure why I need to, but that's okay. I like to land on a long runway with a cable at the end if it's possible.
Oh, you do exciting things like rescue people, save lives, all that stuff. I used to fly oil stoppers out of here and rescue stoppers. It's good fun.
So, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next is the Royal Air Force Voyager and Typhoon aircraft. They will be appearing from your right momentarily, and we'll enjoy their show. And that's basically the lead of the big train of aircraft coming with us. So we'll see when they arrive. They should be inbound fairly soon.
They've got 40 seconds to take off, or they're late.
You're listening to ABC Radio Darwin, broadcasting live from Mindil Beach this afternoon with the expert commentary for the special treat that the Air Forces of the world like to put on for the pitch black exercise. It's been 4 years since the last one, and by the crowds down here this afternoon, everyone's been really looking forward to watching all the excitement once again.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is a no drone zone. Please don't fly your UAVs, otherwise the air show will be called off. If you look to your right, you'll see the Voyager tanker and 2 Royal Air Force Typhoons participating in pitch black.
What if you were facing the sand dunes? You'd have to look to your left. Right?
As long as you look to the right of the sun, you'll see this aircraft come on down with you. The Typhoon, as I said, is a very high-performance, very capable, multi-role fighter and attack aircraft. Has been around for a number of European nations for quite some time. The versions get upgraded a lot, and here they are with the Voyager tanker, which is an A330 style aircraft.
And Tiger, would this be the approximate positions they will be in if they were taking a tanker?
This would be very close to what it looks like if they were refueling. They're fairly close. You can see the Typhoons look kind of small against the tanker, but if they were there taking fuel, they could fly for hours and hours and do their combat missions effectively.
Now, Tiger, I have a photograph of you in your Tornado cockpit, Royal Air Force in Gulf War II, tanking, and you had a little teddy bear next to you in your cockpit.
That's correct. My teddy bear was Little Ted, and he flew all 28 combat missions with me in Iraq, and he enjoyed his time as much as I did.
I had the teddy bear in my backpack. I was with the Royal Navy Commandos in Gulf War I. He went wherever I did.
It's what you do, and it keeps you happy, keeps you safe, reminds you of home, and that you're a human being while you're conducting combat operations.
So here they go. They're separated from the tanker now. There's the Voyager climbing, and there's the two, what we call chicks, the two fighters, we call them chicks.
Next up, we'll have the Japanese Air Force with their J-2 fighter aircraft. This aircraft is a multi-role strike and fighter aircraft, also used in the close air support and air defence roles. They've come from Japan. It's the first time they're here. The aircraft look very similar to an F-16. In fact, they're made by Mitsubishi, and they're modified for the Japanese requirements, and they are an exported version for those who choose to fly them.
One of the most popular airframes ever built, the F-16.
That's correct. It's been flown by a number of air forces and, shall I say, copied by a number of others.
And if I recall correctly, Tiger, the pilot is reclined at about 30 degrees to reduce the effective G, is that right?
There is a slight tilt on his seat to make that more tolerable to a human. It's not that much, but it does do something for them. So they lean back as they fly the aircraft. And like an A330, the control column is to the left of the pilot and with the throttle to the right.
So tell us about pulling G, Tiger. If I pull more than 2G, I feel a bit sick in my aircraft.
That's why you don't fly the aircraft that I fly, but however, I have been ill in aircraft pulling G, but you get trained to do that. We've all done the spin and puke, as we call it, which is a centrifuge to give you that training.
So if you're pulling 6G, what does that mean to the human body?
It means the body and every part of it weighs 6 times what you weigh. So your 10-kilogram head weighs 60 kilograms. So you need some serious neck muscles to do that. If you ask all of our current fighter pilot friends on that, that is a real pain to sustain, but it's what you've got to do while flying the aircraft with high performance. So to the right, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see the next of the fast jets, and Bong will give you a bit of a rundown on those.
Well, these are the J-2 fighters, the F-16 derivatives from the Japanese Defence Force. First time they've actually been here in pitch black, so welcome to the Japanese.
You can kind of see them in the distance.
Very successful aircraft. Way too fast for me. Any Japanese in the crowd? Any Japanese Defence Force people there? Yes? One just walk to the front. Yay!
And you can see the lead aircraft, the guy on the left, and there's number 2 on the right. It's throttling a little bit while you can see the fuel coming out the back. And
coming with their multi-role tanker aircraft, I believe more.
We'll have a small break here before they turn up in a couple of minutes.
On ABC Radio Darwin, don't go too far away from your radio because all of the expert commentary is here on ABC Radio Darwin this afternoon from the flyover down at Mindil. Are you loving the commentary from our 2 special guests? I'm not sure if you're catching all the very good sort of dad joke level commentary that is happening, a bit of banter, a bit of light-hearted ribbing going on between Peter and Tiger. They've been doing it for a long time. This is their bread and butter. Before the next planes arrive though, if you are on the road this afternoon listening from the car, I do need to let you know there is a lot of traffic around Mindil Beach. Unfortunately, some accidents on the Stewart Highway near the Mindil turn-off, so it might be worth parking further away from the beach and walking in if you are able to do so. Of course, you can catch a look at the
Aircraft should be
flyover
coming up in
from
about
other
5
vantage
to 10
points along
minutes.
the coast
So you
from
can stick around if you want to see
East
the
Point right
RSAF
around
jets.
to the casino. So if you haven't been able to make it into Mindil, don't despair. Find a spot along the coast and you'll be able to see what's happening in the skies above. Now, we've just had a couple of wonderful displays so far. Remind us who we're looking forward to appearing in the skies next, Peter.
We're looking for the German multi-role tanker, and with four Typhoons in their refueling position. So it's pretty exciting to have 4 behind the tanker. You don't see that often.
It's very cool to see when we've got more than one plane flying by. Which was the one that was the big one that looked like a mama plane with 2 little baby planes next to it?
That was the Voyager, the Royal Air Force Voyager. Now, this is the Germans trying to, what we call a bit of one-up, telling the rest that, hey, you can have 2, we'll have 4. And I'm sure they do it very well.
Now, when it comes to one-upmanship, I'm not sure if you've seen the merch that the Luftwaffe have brought to Australia. Have you seen their merch? Oh, it's amazing. I'll have to get someone to dig it out of my handbag to show you. It's the German Hair Force. It's a little pop-up hairbrush that they've been handing out that you can use to give your hair a
Just wanted to
little
show you
comb.
how
There's a
crowded
little
it is at
in there.
Mindil Beach.
It's a piece of merch that I will be holding on to for a very long time. I don't know if anyone else has got similar merch to promote
Some of us
themselves.
don't need it. I think Nick needs it.
So, ladies and gents, to the right you'll see the Luftwaffe, the German Air Force, with their multi-role tanker and their 4 ship of Typhoons. They've flown away from all the way from Germany for this exercise, and like everyone else from Europe, they've thoroughly enjoyed being here, and they look forward to a high voltage flypast and a high voltage exercise here in Darwin. So you can see the 4 Typhoons there, escorting, as it were, the tanker. The tanker's doing about 300 knots, which is about half the speed Typhoon can fly, but that's what you've got to do to refuel. And you'll see the 2 of them will do their 360 in front of you. There goes 1, well, section number 3, he'll do 360, there goes 4, and keep up the noise. So enjoy the night. There you can see the glider down. The German Air Force and their multi-role tanker and their 4 Typhoons just for you here in Darwin today.
I heard a few little squeals there from the crowd. I think a few little ears in particular were a bit surprised by the noise. Are things going to get louder from here on in?
They ain't heard nothing yet. I think you'll be screaming, Lee.
I've got the
guarantee
headphones
it.
that I can pop over my ears if things get a
You're
little
going to
bit
scream,
too loud.
I'll guarantee it.
So if you just stick around a while longer, I think our jets will be coming out soon.
ABC Radio down right across the top end of the Northern Territory, live from Mindil Beach this afternoon. So great to see so many Territorians down here enjoying the flyover this afternoon. The beach is absolutely packed. It's a beautiful Thursday afternoon. Snacks are being enjoyed. I can see some kids tucking into their ice cones to cool down. People have parked up on the sand dunes. There's not a cloud in the sky. It is the beautiful time of year here in the top end. The dry season, of course, the sun is glistening on the ocean as it does. I'm sure we'll have another spectacular sunset later on this afternoon. It's just all a part of living here in the beautiful top end of Australia.
It's always spectacular sunsets here. It's, I think the crowd this time, Liz, I would say it could even be twice as big as it was in 2018. This is amazing.
So, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next is the Singapore F-15s for your pleasure. The F-15 has been around for quite some years. Singapore's done some fantastic modifications to it to make it a very high performance, very capable aircraft. Again, operating here in pitch black. It's done it for a number of pitch black, and the Singapore Air Force do enjoy coming here to Darwin to operate. Here comes some two Singapore-specific F-15s who are very high performance, very high supersonic speeds, can fly low level, but they're superior in their air supremacy role.
I have to admit these are one of my favourite aircraft, Tiger, I have to admit that. They've had this speed to height record for decades. I don't know if they still have it, which means they can get to a particular height quicker than any other aircraft. They are fantastic.
The Eagle is sometimes called the flying tennis court.
Quite a distance away, but
we say that because it's a very large fighter aircraft.
here we go.
So there's a Singapore F-15 doing their 360 for you. Stand by for one more. Number 2, throttling is docking his throttle to keep up with 1. As a good lead, you're stable for your number 2 to be with you, and his job is to support you through all aspects of flight, peacetime and wartime.
Lead should hopefully keep the throttle in the same position, and number 2 will keep up. Number 2 will use more fuel than lead.
So Singapore Air Force F-15 here in Darwin for pitch black. It's not the first time they've been here, it's not the last, but they enjoy their time here in Darwin.
Oh, here they come.
That is a big aircraft.
And there they go.
Next we have the Indonesian F-16 turning up. Probably just a minute or two. Little aircraft you'll see from the right. That's great flight the F-16. Indonesian have flown F-16s for quite a while, and they've been to here in Darwin on quite a number of times.
You will recall that the Japanese aircraft F-16 variants, and we have more F-16s.
Waiting on his arrival, notice each aircraft is separated by a couple of minutes for viewing pleasure, a little bit of a chat, and also for flight safety. We'll just wait to see they come from the right in just a minute.
Just a reminder, please, there are no drones to be flown anywhere near here, please. If anyone sees anyone trying to fly a drone, then let the captain know who's there on the lookout. Thank you.
What kind of skills does it take these pilots to fly in formation in the way that we're enjoying this afternoon? It looks so good. Is that a skill that they have to spend a lot of time working on?
Formation it's a basic military flying training skill that you learn fairly early in your pilot training within most militaries of the Air Force. And over to the right you can see them turning up. Formation flying does take some determination, it takes some good leadership and some good wingmanship. You hear the term, I'll be your wingman any day. The wingman's job is to be there, support lead, and do what lead does and support the entire package. So on the right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the Indonesian Air Force F-16s.
So when you're learning formation flying, it takes a lot of courage getting close enough. And your instructor says closer, 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 you go, oh my gosh. And when you get there, you just stick, and it's fun.
So the F-16s from the Indonesian Air Force, here for your pleasure. A little bit of separation for them to get their team going. Not very much fuel compared to some aircraft. However, you can see the turning circle is tiny when they need to do that.
But you could outrun them at speed.
That one I can outrun it. That was in the hallucination. Sorry about that.
And next, we have a very noisy aircraft. It's an American F-35 Bravo. And I think it will be doing something that you will enjoy. Never seen it before.
Hello. I'm replying to the comments, so you guys can drop your comments if you want. Hello. We're at Mindil Beach, watching the Flypast.
It takes a lot to hover that jet. It takes a lot of fuel, has a lot of thrust, but it permits short vertical takeoff and landings, and if necessary, a vertical landing on a carrier.
It's really crowded, as I mentioned just now, and also very hot.
There we go, but we'll see.
You're on ABC Radio, Darwin. If you've just tuned in the car this afternoon and thinking, I don't know what I'm hearing, you are getting a very special treat this afternoon, special expert commentary down at Mindil Beach for the flyover as part of the pitch flag exercise.
Hello, hi, Kevin from Sydney.
And things are only going to get better, louder, faster,
No issue, it's just a really hot day.
The clock now and 10 past 6.
If you look to the right, you'll see them coming over the headland. See, very expensive, very loud F-35.
The F-35s are up next.
And our aircraft aren't the naval version, they don't hover.
How close are these two jets flying to one another?
Oh, what do you think about? Probably 12 metres, something like that? Yeah, that's right. They're about 3 or 4 wingspans apart, which is not unreasonable. And you can stay there all day, including in bad weather. To express your position in the number of wingspans,
So you can see the latest, greatest fifth generation fighter here. This is a very high performing, very capable, very data-centric and network-centric aircraft that is the backbone of the Marine Corps, the US Navy, Air Force and the Royal Australian Air Force. There are another dozen countries that fly this aircraft, but today we've got the US Marine Corps who are flying the F-35B, which is a hovering aircraft.
and they've dropped their gear target.
Hopefully they won't land and they'll clear the birds away as they slow down and do a bit of hovering in front of us.
That's when I'll get excited.
How did you know that they dropped the gear?
Oh, you can see it. We can see their wheels down. Couldn't you see that?
I did not see that. You said they're going to clear the birds.
A couple of birds flew over, they're not a factor. The noise generally scares them, and their downward thrust will also do that.
And they'll probably clear any crocs out there. When you think about how fast these aircraft can fly, you see them hover.
I think we can see the F-35s coming in. You can feel the wind.
That was very capable, but this is just a whole new ballgame.
While they hover, they have a very, very high power setting and a very high fuel flow.
They are really near us.
Very, very impressive.
Essentially, however, you got the idea to still have another minute or so to clear the area. But the point is, you can see a very high performance aircraft and a very slow speed that could have landed in the water if it wanted to.
When you say slow speed, what kind of speeds are we talking about?
Well, that aircraft technically goes at zero airspeed and like a helicopter land vertically, but today it probably slowed down to about 60 knots, maybe 50 knots, which is almost taxi speed for a lot of aircraft.
These guys seem to have their headlights on as well. I'm sure they're not called headlights on those aircraft.
Oh, they should. I drive with my headlights on all the time. It's that expensive.
But sometimes there are times you don't want your lights on because the bad guys will see you. Trust me, that's a bad look.
Geez, I listen to my carrier days.
Yeah, so Peter here's been on a carrier in his day with tracker aircraft and helicopters as well.
Most of the people on the beach weren't born then, Tiger. They wouldn't even know that HMAs looked at carrier. The guys are shaving with it right now.
So next we have the French multi-role tanker with this Rafale aircraft. And we'll hand over to our French Air Force companions just very briefly.
Yeah, French and Space Force Rafale who will come in here above Mindil Beach in only few seconds. The perfect on your fighter. This fighter is halfway between a fourth generation jet and a fifth generation jet, able to perform many missions as simple as complex mission, able to perform air-to-air, able to perform air-to-run, and I think in pitch black what they did mostly was air-to-air missions. We can already hear them. They might be on our right, if I'm not mistaken, in only a few seconds. So this plane was created only 40 years ago, and yet it was continued to evolve with the time in order to be able to fight in very complex missions and very complex theaters. You will see the perfect combination for air-to-run mission, which is the A330 Armani and the Rafale with the F-35 standard, the most advanced standard we are here in the French Air Space Force. We are talking about advanced versatility, the meteor missile and target recognition pod. So, only 2 minutes to go. Tell me, what's your opinion about this plane, the wonderful Rafale?
I was going to say, having refueled from a number of refueling aircraft, the A330 is a very smooth aircraft, just fly behind. It has a lot of fuel to give. It also can carry a large amount of cargo whilst refueling and deploying.
3 Rafale planes here. I was talking just a little before about the mission of 72 hours performed to make a long-range attack of 18,000 kilometers in only 3 days with 3 planes, and at the end of the race, they performed a complex mission integrated with ground crew and pilots. These two-seaters are so able to perform that kind of mission. So yes.
Where was that mission to? Where did the mission fly from and to?
We started from France and went to New Caledonia, to the airbase of Nouméa-Tontouta, because we are French armed force here, and this was very useful to settle a foreign air force base in order to continue the mission and then come back here for Pitch Black 2022. Only 6 seconds before they come here, so the planes are 2-seaters. You have 1 pilot and 1 navigator. Also, you can have 2 pilots depending on the needs of the mission. So that allows us to be very efficient in different all theaters.
RAAF, thank you for getting us ready for the next part of the display. It's packed down at Mindil Beach this afternoon. My name's Liz Tabasco with you on ABC Radio Darwin. Special expert commentary for the Mindil Beach flyover, and our next craft are just starting to arrive.
Yes, as we said, from the French Air Force, here comes their multi-role tanker and their Rafale supersonic all-weather aircraft. Nice 3-ship behind the tanker. Tanker putting on a little bit of a turn towards us.
It's really far
Yep,
away.
3 ships, 3 chicks in toast. Say that 3 times quickly.
That's the one. Okay. And cruising past about 1,000 feet or so as you enjoy the sunset with the French Air Force. And again, as we said, they've flown a long way to come here, but as we've seen, they've flown from France to do a simulated strike on New Caledonia, and that's a long way around the world. It just goes to show the capability of fighters attached to long-range tankers.
I believe the French are enjoying the hospitality of local Darwinians, French troops. Is that true?
Oui.
Oh, they're talking over there, not listening.
Okay, so the French Rafale fighters are enjoying their time as they depart to the south of Darwin. Separate, and good on them for doing that.
So Peter, you were saying a short time ago, I think it was you, Peter, that this crowd looks bigger than 4 years ago. How does that warm your heart to see so many locals turning out to see this event?
It worries me. How the hell am I going to get home? My car will be stuck.
It's a very good question, and if you're on the road this afternoon, just to let you know, there's quite a bit of traffic around Mindil this afternoon. You can find a vantage spot along the coastline, head down to East Point or around the corner to the casino there, and you'll be able to see all that's happening in the sky. And don't worry if you can't make it down here, because of course if you stay tuned to ABC Radio Darwin, you'll be continuing to get the expert commentary from Squadron Leader Nigel, Tiger, Meadows and Peter Bonner. Commentary for you this afternoon. Also some, little kind of dad jokes as we continue the countdown. We've got about 3 minutes until the next aircraft arriving. Peter, look, I don't know if this is a question you get asked very often, but I was thinking about this earlier today. Who's in charge of, like, washing the planes after they head up?
Some certainties will have to be met, but they make sure the aircraft are clean, and we also have cleaning facilities for them. When I was in the Navy on a carrier, the air crew, because there wasn't a lot to do on a carrier, we used to help maintain the clean aircraft too.
We were hearing from our New Zealand guest a little bit earlier that it's the ground crew who make these events possible. Who would you say the unsung heroes are of an event, a 3-week event like this down here in Darwin? Who's making this happen that's not up in the sky?
Well, there's a whole raft of people, logistics, administration people, make sure people get paid and fed and housed and hire cars. It is an enormous process. And we do this at RAAF. We have all these people on our team. And we now, as we speak, have a bunch of airport massive planes putting up bunking and resting times and fencing, toilets, marketing. They're doing it right now. And ladies and gentlemen, from the right comes another pair of high-performance aircraft for Pittsburgh. And as you'll see from the right there, it's the Royal Australian Airport Growler electronic attack aircraft. These aircraft are based at Amberley. Electronic attack basically designed to neutralise I have a special spec as one of my favourite ladies. Connie is a pilot on the Royal Australian Air Force Growler, and she's waving to the crowd today from her bar at the casino. And I believe your son knows her, Tiger. I believe that's something to make. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was their 6th squadron with their Growlers, and that guy leading the show was the package commander of this. His name is Smurf, and he ran this whole show, and it was his job to make sure it was on board and on time.
I was getting a sense of that to start revealing some family secrets, and I was quite interested to hear where that story was going, but maybe we'll save that for a chat over a cold lemonade after the show. We've got about half an hour left, or even less than that, for the flyover here at Mindil Beach this afternoon. My name's Liz Tarascus. This is the Drive Show on ABC Radio Darwin, broadcasting right across the top of the Northern Territory, also broadcasting live from Mindil Beach this afternoon with the expert commentary.
And you can see two jets coming from the right. And before they get here, I'd just like to answer your question about the crowd. This huge crowd, enormous. I was staying twice as many last night. I just can't believe it. Do we have a recruiter person? So, ladies and gentlemen, on the right here we have the US Air Force F-16, supersonic, all-weather, day and night, interceptor aircraft. It can go very quickly at 50 to 80,000 feet, can shoot nearly everything known to man. Just ask them. They're really good at what they do, have been in the USAF for quite some years. They're really cool. We love the F-16. Again, another flying tennis court, but every now and then they end up in front of you so you can take a cheap shot.
Nigel, the excitement just climbed up another level there.
Positive to air supremacy is the, in this case, the Growler is the electronic attack aircraft, and it's here in Darwin for a couple of weeks at Big Black. Very high performance. It's the latest derivative of the F-18 Strike Fighter, and it is
very well equipped for most threats that can be presented today. We have a number of growler pilots here on the beach that are waving and carrying on. It's great. And a number of them sipping cocktails in the bar, which is a good thing to do in the afternoon. So this is the growler, confirmed target? That's correct. Yep, they did a bit of a swap, must have shot a couple of guys down before getting here. But as you see, this is Smurf running the show, and he's like me, an ex-Royal Air Force aircrew, and he's enjoying his time here.
The air shows has just stuck his head over towards me and said, that was my last aircraft. What are you thinking about as you're watching that fly over, Mika?
It was great. Not quite my last aircraft, it was a Super Model with the same airframe. Really good to see the young guys out here doing this. They're ultimate professionals, and I hope everyone here is enjoying it. This crowd is magnificent.
The cockpit, if we're imagining what those pilots are experiencing right now, take us in there. What's surrounding them?
So you get in the cockpit, it's like a single seat car. Squeeze yourself in, put your legs down through two tunnels onto the rudder pedals. You're surrounded by switches left and right. Cockpit between your legs, and a small computer screen in front of you, and a great bubble canopy that allows you to look 360 degrees around the aircraft.
And it sounds like you're taking in a lot of information with all of those screens. Are you also using what you can see out the window as you fly, or is it just all data and screens telling you what to do?
No, you're definitely looking out the window. There's lots of computer stuff, but nothing beats getting visual out the front and still flying like real aircraft.
We've got about 20 minutes still to go, and the grand finale not too far off. There is excitement, there is possibly sonic booms to come as those last jets just flew by. I could feel it through the sand underneath my toes here down at Mindil Beach, Nigel.
I'm sure if the sonic boom goes on, the head of airfare stand behind him will both have a bit of a march in at that stage. However, they'll come close to supersonic. But I don't think they'll boom the place, because that's really not still. It's fun though, I might admit, but it'll probably hurt a couple of kids' ears. Isn't that right, Mika? He's nodding for us.
You do not want to be anywhere near a sonic boom.
Yeah, some people do confuse the sonic boom with just the aircraft crash as it arrives, and that's fine, but when the aircraft does arrive almost unannounced, it may be close to supersonic, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to drop a boom, which is when you exceed supersonic and there's a large shockwave of a low speed behind you.
So just very quickly, what are we looking forward to over the next 20 minutes or so? We can wrap this up at 6-7 past.
We have some US F-16, some F-16, and here they are now. F-16, sorry. And here we have the Koreans now.
Good afternoon, Darwin. We are Republic of Korea Air Force. This is Captain Jung, your one-day commentator. It is a huge honor to be here in beautiful Mindil Beach in Darwin City. RAF Air Force is participating in beach flag exercise for the very first time. It is our first visit in Australia, of course, with our awesome fighters, 6 KF-16s, which are the most advanced version among a lot of F-16s in the world. It is just like a Tesla. So special thanks to Rocket Martin.
Sorry to interrupt, but the F-15 is flying ahead. That's right, we'll get back to it in a minute and we'll replay this. So there's the supersonic all-weather, high-performance, multi-role fighter aircraft, F-16, and it's very good at doing it. The US Air Force have had F-15 for quite some years, and again, these guys are based out of Japan, and they come here quite often for pitch black. We'll probably hopefully see our Korean counterparts in just a minute, and I'll hand over to my Korean commentator, who can probably restart his little video game. So over to you, mate.
Good afternoon, Darwin. I've never commentated before. We are Republic of Korea Air Force. This is Captain Jung, your one-day commentator. It's a huge honor, once again, to be here in beautiful Mindil Beach in Darwin City. RAF Air Force participating in beach flag exercise for the very first time. It is our first visit in Australia, of course, with our awesome fighters, 6 F-16s, which are the most advanced version among a lot of F-16s in the world. It is just like a Tesla, special thanks to Lockheed Martin. And we had a number of air-to-air refuel missions with our multi-role tanker transport, AC-330, on the way here. Stopping shortly in Philippines, and our MRTT is now in Amberley Air Base, participating in the exercise together. So we deeply thank this local community, Darwin, and thanks to you, we international participants can improve and strengthen partnerships together to protect our freedom and prosperity. So soon, our 2 KF-16s, led by mission commander, Major Lee Han Jin, will come to you and pass along with the beach line to say hi to you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, on your right, the KF-16 from Republic of Korea Air Force. And they're moving. Ladies and gentlemen, please wave your hands to our pilots.
Pilots are watching us up, they're looking at their instruments. That's pretty tight,
It's pretty quiet, but they're doing their best.
Oh, it's tight formation.
Please come to the ABC radio booth, and I'll be there in RAAF uniform. And I hope you enjoy this wonderful evening with your beloved people and enjoy the sunset. Thank you very much.
More from that just fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. Our Republic of Korea public relations expert giving us a fantastic commentary with some great music for the KF-16 from the Republic of Korea Air Force. Next up we have the Indian Air Force with their very large Sukhoi fighters. The Indian Air Force have been pitched back on a number of occasions, and they are one of the highlights of this exercise, and indeed this Flypast. Again, they're a very large aircraft like the F-15. They have similar performance to the F-15 aircraft. The Indian Air Force have operated this aircraft for quite some years, and have been the last probably 3 pitch backs, I believe, or similar, and they do some great integration with us here in Australia.
Tiger, I think our South Korean team might have just about outdone you with enthusiasm there.
I think he did as far as enthusiasm is concerned, and good on him. I'd love to have flown those aircraft. They're just such great little high-performance multi-role aircraft.
And I think, gentlemen, next time we might need to get you both a backing track picked out for your commentary. No, they're both shaking their head. We'll leave that to Captain Jung from South Korea, who did such a great job.
He did a great job. He did an excellent job. So, ladies and gentlemen, we still have another 20-odd minutes of this show left, and the second last of our main event is the Indian Air Force. The Su-30 fighter is, as I said, a very large multi-role attack and air defence fighter, and it's operated by the Indian Air Force as well as a number of the likes of Russian Air Force and the East European Air Force. Very high performance, very capable.
Tiger, the display from the South Koreans, I'll get you to tell us a bit more about what we saw there. I think it was Peter who commented just how tight they were flying. For those listening at home or in the car this afternoon, just describe that formation that we saw.
They're in effectively their standard Echelon formation, which is a close formation you can take in IMC, in bad weather, in clouds, and you can land in that formation. You often take off in that sort of formation. But from the right here we have the Indian Air Force and their Su-30 fighters. As you can see, twin tail, very large aircraft, again similar to an F-15, but a little bit bigger, and these guys can pull a huge amount of angle of attack when necessary during a fight. A bit smaller, but that's okay. They fly almost as fast. They carry a fair weapon load. They have a lot of fuel to go somewhere, and they have a fairly good avionics suite to both prosecute and defend themselves. The Indian Air Force Su-30 here in pitch black. As I said, there's a half a dozen here flying, and they perform a multitude of roles in the exercise.
So why the way gave us mark the short so far here from this one?
That's correct. The answer is Mark 2.5. Nothing else has flown that fast here today, but such is life. These aircraft at the moment are doing about 300 knots. These aircraft can go at a medium supersonic if needed, but the supersonic flight is not what it's all about today. However, the Su-30 is quite capable, and the Indian Air Force has operated them for quite some years.
Back 2.5 in old speeds, probably a couple of thousand miles. Zero. I'd probably fly not about 420 knots in a Mackie, which is, I don't know, about
And Nigel, what's the fastest speed that you've flown at?
There we go. Fast speed I've flown is Mark 2.5. That's 1,400 knots, and that can get you very short time between Sydney and Melbourne, albeit with not much fuel at the end. The world does go around pretty quick at Mark 2.5. Concorde cruises at that speed, but as Nick and I will say, Mark 2.5 is a great speed for running away from any fight you're seeing.
What does it do to your body to travel at those speeds? What does it feel like?
The aircraft is designed to make it feel no different. So a lot of management of the engine, a lot of management of fuel in particular, because you run out very quickly. But remember, this is in my case, an aircraft that was designed in the 60s and flown from the Australian Air Force right up until about 10, 12 years ago. However,
it destroyed Tiger's body.
yeah, sorry, I saw that. But I also like to here flew the Tornado, which doesn't quite go fast, but is equally as capable as a multi-role bombing aircraft. All right, gents, in a couple of minutes, we're going to have the Australian Air Force F-35 arrive for us. Put on its flight path and its display.
The F-35, this is the grand finale. How long are we going to see the F-35 before us here at Mindil Beach this afternoon? I mean, we're getting the sunset and the F-35. The timing couldn't be more spectacular.
We'd better see him for 9 minutes, or the pilot's in trouble.
So ladies and gentlemen, the F-35 does arrive. Be aware it will be very loud and come relatively close to you in the overhead initial slide path. So just don't be alarmed by the noise the F-35 makes, but just look at the performance and how quickly it can turn, how tightly it can turn, how quickly it can climb, and also descend back down again.
Just before it arrives, I'm going to turn around and watch the crowd. And watch the fear on their face as they hear that noise. It will be amazing.
How low are the F-35, the face of the pilot?
What's the speed, Tiger?
Yeah, that's correct. But for your benefit, top level flying.
You're looking at the sky, wondering when and where. How long have we got until the F-35s make their appearance?
That's true. It's a no drone zone, and I'm just checking to make sure there's no birds, drones, or any other hazards to these guys flying. The space flight is critical in the Australian Air Force, and we're here to make sure that the space is sanitised for them so they can put on their displays.
We've got 3 or 4 minutes, so Tigers, your turn for dad joke.
Thank you. No.
Is that it?
Yep.
Okay.
Peter, we've talked a bit about the crowd. Tell me what uniforms you can see looking here. Who's come down, who's part of pitch black to watch this display this afternoon?
Lots of pyjamas around here. We call them, I can see French and Guernsey French flying suits over here. Lots of French flying. Hey, can you guys hear us over here in the French flying suits? Hello? Hello? No, they're not listening. Oh, here we go, folks.
Here comes the Australian Air Force's frontline fighter attack aircraft, the F-35. It's been with the Australian Air Force for a number of years now, and we're full on, we have a full strength of them up around Australia, based in Tyndall and Darwin. They're here in pitch black to operate on a number of roles, and you'll see them in the Darwin skies fairly regularly. So, the Royal Australian Air Force F-35 lighting to multi-role fighter attack aircraft. The latest and greatest technology, the latest and greatest navigation, the latest and greatest communication, and
and data sharing is quite as well. Ladies and gentlemen, in just a minute or so, the F-35 will put on its flying display. Please don't be alarmed by the noise as it arrives. It will be very loud. However, it's what we do in the Australian Air Force is fly low as needed and at very high speed whilst giving you a good display. I've just seen a couple of young girls, very young girls, walk past with hearing protection on. Well done, Mum. Good idea. That's okay.
ABC Radio Darwin, my name's Liz Travascus at Mindil Beach Market, heading for the grand finale of the flyover spectacular this afternoon. Our special commentary this afternoon, Tiger Meadows and Peter Nelson describing what's happening through the skies above. It's all coming to a close very soon, but the excitement is not over yet, my friends.
Now, it's right, just a very short time before he arrives, and this will be the final of the show for a couple of minutes as he puts on the grand finale of this Mindil Beach Open Day.
If you're listening from back at the market, get on the market.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't like the sound of jet frequently, those who do, please run up. Hi, thanks for having me on place.
How are we feeling, ladies and gentlemen? We have a massive round of applause for the F-35 fighters.
He hasn't finished yet. His display shows the capability of the aircraft, the high performance, the manoeuvrability, angle of attack available, short speed, very good weapon payload, and of course my favourite is the last That's what I'm and he's heading final. Pulling a little bit of G, in fact a lot of G's coming in those corners, but that's what they do with aircraft trains do that.
Oh my, he's headed right for us.
That was impressive even to me.
How fast was that?
I'd say that was 500 knots fairly easily. Okay, the aircraft can do a lot faster than that, but you've got to show the crowd every now and then. If it sustains the burner for a while, it'll get to supersonic speed very quickly. In fact, this aircraft can sustain supersonic speed without the use of burner. Super Cruise, as it's called. Very capable, very high thrusters engine. Okay, that's someone missing now.
Oh, it's coming back around.
Here it is, it's a high alpha, low speed pass. Over the crowd, very high angle attack and low speed. I think that's slower than the Osprey, hovering. It's almost hovering, but it's just pure off running today. How quickly the aircraft can accelerate to a very high speed, which is very an ideal situation to be in if you're in a close quarters fight, which you don't want to be in these aircraft. However, it does have the ability to run very quickly and has the ability to slow down if necessary and use a full suite of three-dimensional weapons. Very high up the flap. And that maneuverability at negative G the negative G target, the blood runs through it, and you can never reach it. Scares the birds, they don't like it, but it's higher than them, it's okay. What a great shot against the front end. The F-35 with us, very high G, very high alpha, 360-degree turn in front of Mindil Beach here. Also about 80 degrees angle back to the same. Now, something like that is probably about 6 months away. However, we've recovered from that and ready to continue to play, fight, and play. And this is what anyone who wants to join might be able to do one day. Everyone I did it. That's right. Anyone who wants to join the Air Force can train you to fly these aircraft. You just got to apply your skills.
Oh, there it comes.
F-35 flight for the Royal Australian Air Force, climbing 20,000 feet to the part overhead Mindil Beach. Just finish this display for you. And the best way to do it is the water side of when you're done.
Ladies and gentlemen, is your heart racing? That was just spectacular. The F-35, the young Darwin students cannot believe what they just seen flying through the skies on ABC Radio Darwin. Huge thank you to Peter and Nigel commentating. They did warn you that it was going to be loud. I'm not sure if you were prepared. I'd had a heads up that things were going to be as loud as they were, and then the fighter jet would be coming in from behind.
Thanks for joining the live, and we'll bring you more live stuff in a couple of days. So just keep subscribed to the RSAF's YouTube channel.
Not anymore,
Bye!
but it is very loud, the whole body shakes. It's just quite